Messes. Oh. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to It's a Mess, Sis, my favorite podcast. I'm Jess, working through the mess, and I am so glad you came back to hang out with us again.
And hello, everyone. I'm Rena, and I'm your other host, and I'm also possibly sick.
Oh,
So
no.
I just want to give you a heads up. But as always, I always have questions, and I'm not going to let any potential illness stop me from asking them and seeking answers, or just allowing you all to question with me so I don't question alone.
I love that. That
Yes.
was beautiful.
Thank
I
you.
hope that you are well soon.
You told me I had
Because
COVID.
it sucks. It sucks.
I don't believe I have COVID,
You
but
don't. You have just a seasonal allergy, just a little bug. It'll be gone soon. You guys are joining us for season 4, episode 81. Let freedom ring. That's really beautiful. And that's wild. I just want to just take the time to say season 4?
right.
What was the time gone? We're here already.
Right.
That's wild. That is
It snuck up
wild.
on me. By the time I
Yeah,
realized we were season 4, I'm like, "Damn, we're 2 episodes in." I
that's wild.
yeah, it's just been yeah.
What a
You know what they
mess.
say, time
What,
flies when
you're having fun?
yeah, that's what they say.
I felt like you was gonna say something else.
No, 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 I just wanna make
Mhm.
sure you were gonna say that, you know?
You so full of shit. Anyway, guys, yeah, you're joining us for episode 81, Let Freedom Ring. We do have a segment though before we fully dive in called What's the Mess? So I'm gonna ask Rena, what's your mess? Or what's the
Um,
mess?
well, other than me being a bit under the weather,
Yeah.
just some things off the top of my head,
Hmm.
Tory Lane's mugshot,
Mm.
the anger over Miele Cosmetics,
Ah,
men being mad at Lori Harvey for
okay.
not choosing them,
Uh,
um, egg prices,
Okay.
and unfortunately, MLK sculpture in
I
Boston.
so much more for all of these things. I am aware. I didn't see Tory Lane's mugshot, but I know kind of, the gist. He's
It was the
he's
best photo
guilty.
he's ever taken.
Oh damn, that's
Yeah,
crazy. Oh
he
my god.
he showed all those veneers.
Did he? Now I want to
Yeah.
look it up.
He
Okay.
just, I mean, it's probably the best hairline he's had, it's a glamour shot, you know?
Did he take it at the jail?
I would think so. He must have had a it must have used some of that budget money on lighting.
A week. Oh wow.
Right. You wanna
My
show
boy
it to the
smiled in
people?
his
Can
mugshot.
they even see it? Let me see.
Can I see? Let's
Look at
see.
that. You ain't never seen Tory Lanez
Wow.
look like that.
Wow. Yeah, that one got a glamour shot. A week. Okay.
He looked like a 90s barbershop photo. Like, "Yeah, give me that number
I
4."
want
That's
that
what he
number
looks
four.
like.
I'm fucking weak. I'm fucking weak. Okay, so that is a mess. But I just saw, what is it,
Miele oil?
Miele Cosmetics. I just saw a video. This is my first time seeing it. It says when Miele products something for my curly hair, and then this man popped up. He stitched it and was like, "Make your own with peppermint oil and this and this." But I don't know what's the tea on it, and what is it?
So,
What is the product, and what's the issue over it?
look, all my information is from Twitter, so
Period.
that's it. Like, I'm just
Okay,
letting you know what I've read briefly.
these are Twitter facts.
Yeah, on
Okay.
my scroll, what I've observed on my scroll.
Uh huh.
Um, and so Miele Cosmetics is a Black-owned company, and I guess
Mm.
they've sold the company or they're pivoting their marketing to be more inclusive. And you know what that means when they start being inclusive.
Right. It means
Yeah,
excluding
so
blacks.
yes, who was like,
Their
their
main
main
demographic.
initially, right.
Okay.
So it's kinda like the can too and the Shea Moisture all over again, and people are real heated about this oil. Hot oil, as well. Um, and, it's a Black woman who owns it, and I guess she cashed out, and people are like, "Oh, so y'all don't care about generational wealth?" And I'm like, "Did you care about your grandmother's house?
Ooh.
You sold it,
Ooh.
just like she sold that business, so what you need to do is mind yours."
And
That's
I
how
mean,
I
maybe
feel.
she's tired. Like, that's the thing
Yeah,
too.
just
Like,
like your
maybe that is
grandma.
her generational wealth. Maybe she's gonna get that money and invest in tech. Maybe she's gonna get that money. You don't know what she's gonna do with the money. I do
Yeah.
understand being frustrated by the selling of things that are historically Black, only because they don't care anymore about us and the things that they put in there. They'll start putting other ingredients. They'll start putting things that are bad for us. We have historically high numbers of fibroids because of some of the chemicals and the things that we've used in our hair. And so once you sell it, then it's no longer necessarily going to be a focus on what's good for us. So yeah, it
Yeah.
may have started off as a really good brand, may have been really healthy, may have been really great. Now that it's bought out, they're going to do things to make it cheaper so that they can make more money for that from that sale. And so it's like, I
I
understand the anger, but I also understand you not being obligated to keep something if
I
it's not
feel
working
like
for you.
this just opens the door for another Black brand that you can pivot to. Let
Yeah.
everybody get their money. We help them make their money. They get to the point where, you get a product that reflects you, that you can be
Mhm.
proud in. Let
Mhm.
them sell. And then you know what? The next Black business comes into place. And let the white people take all the decline, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Like a bit or, just like, Black people are dollars powerful.
Yeah.
If you feel like the product no longer, suits you and your needs, just don't buy it.
Yeah.
You
But
can't
it
take
is
stuff from other
frustrating though,
people.
because we don't have a lot of things that are aimed at us or that are healthy or that actually work. And so it's easy to say, just wait for the next Black thing. But then how long will that be?
I mean, I
Will it
think
be
it's
another
already out
five
there.
years? Is it already out there?
I feel like there are a lot of Black products that are out there.
That's true, but do they work
No.
well? Have they been tested? Are they gonna do the exact same thing that this thing did? Now I've gotta do more research, especially with I know for me, with my hair, finding something that really just works and I'm like, it don't matter every single time this thing work, my hair look like this. Black women in their hair, it's a big deal.
No, I get it.
So
I get it.
to
That's why I don't
now
have
have
any.
some I'll fucking wait. All
Right. Like I
right.
just said, you know what, Miel Cosmetics, you gonna sell your company. I ain't never used your product
She
ever,
says
but
zoop.
I'm tired. You know what? Let me just cut this shit off. No, I get it. I get the frustration. I get, something being a staple, something you could depend on.
Yeah,
But that can't be the reason why somebody holds themselves back. Like,
exactly.
you
Exactly.
know, you can hope that this company will stay true to their loyal fan base. It probably
Mhm.
won't.
Probably won't.
And just have hope and faith that you'll find another product,
Yeah.
or just sell all your old Miel like formulations on eBay and just jack up the. No, I'm just kidding. No, don't do
I'm
that. Don't
fucking
do that.
weak. I'm fucking
Don't do
weak.
that. That's
That's what they
bad.
do. That's
Don't
what
do
they
that.
do,
Don't
though.
do
Look at
that.
you. That would be your ass
Resale
making
market.
your next down payment for your new house. That's funny. Okay, so then men being mad at Lori Harvey. I mean, she's with Idris. What's his name?
Yeah, Idris, not Elba.
I'm
Elba.
fucking weak. Okay, Mr. Not Elba himself, and
Yes.
they're mad that she's with him,
Yeah, because I guess they're like, "Hey, she just sleep with anybody." And it's like,
but
"But
not your
you."
ass.
Anybody but you.
That's hilarious.
I think it's Meek Mill. I'm like, "You sound salty." Like,
Is that what he said?
yeah, that was his, she'll just y'all just let her sleep with anybody or something
Who
like
is
that.
y'all? Like we can
I don't
control
know.
this bitch vagina.
Exactly. Like, let me see what he
And what is
exactly.
all these niggas are grown. These are grown ass men, a lot growner than her. First of all, they know what the fuck they're doing. They know where they want to stick their own penis. They have free will. She's not forcing these niggas. She got some sort of potion that she's luring these niggas to her fucking lair or some shit.
I think, I thought it was commonly known in like the industry that dudes really like to be with women who have been with other like powerful dudes. Like, y'all all be like, come on, look at what's her name. Now, you know what? I don't
Corinne
even want to do
Steffens,
that.
superhead.
Yeah, that's definitely somebody. It's like y'all knew
Mm-hmm.
she got around.
Y'all know.
Y'all knew y'all was finna be
And a
in the
couple of
book.
y'all want her. Come on, I'm not
Right.
hearing it. Y'all are fake. Y'all are fake and y'all are jealous. That's exactly what it is. You mad because even though she giving it to everybody, she didn't give it to you. That's embarrassing. If she gives it to everybody but not you, you should feel ashamed.
Right. I mean, she's very selective,
I think so too. I ain't seen her date a bum yet.
no, and she'll stay with them for a little. The only bum she dated, did she date Future? I think she's the only one
Yeah,
who survived Future, and I think that's what made them so mad.
they were mad. She didn't
She
get pregnant. She didn't get
right.
saddled down with this nigga
All she
kids.
did was get gone.
Yeah, they was mad at that. They was hating on that because they loved him some Future. Protest is kept. They live vicariously through this nigga treating people horribly.
Right. Right.
Um, That's funny. Okay, so they're mad at her. I mean,
Yeah,
that's nothing new. Anytime
yeah,
she do something, they're gonna be mad. The men's
yeah,
is gonna be mad because she's
yeah.
so pretty. How dare she use her pretty and do what she want with it? She's young. How dare she take her youth and use it how she want? How dare she not settle down with Michael B. Jordan? How dare she?
I mean, and they probably had a
Y'all are
good
whack.
run. They seem like he doesn't seem mad about it. They seem really respectful. Like the only
Hmm.
people who are disrespectful towards Ori Harvey are men who haven't been with her.
Period. You sound jealous
Yeah, it's like you had your shot. You was
or
with
didn't.
wait, who was he with? Nikki. But
Nikki
then
manage.
sure. Yeah. Whoever the hell that is.
Nikki
That's who
manage.
yeah. So yeah, that's just that. I'm like, y'all just leave her alone. Just like she
Yeah.
left y'all, you know?
Period. And we're gonna keep leaving until she ready.
Yeah, it's
I think they
cool.
hate they this is the problem that I see. This is another whole topic. When women don't need men, right? That she doesn't need them for the come up. She doesn't need them for finances. She's very attractive. She stands on her own and she's a gem in this world, right? Like she can be with any man she wants. She can buy anything she wants. She's from a well-off family. Like she's not hurting for anything. So that she doesn't need you. If you're not adding value to her life, it seems like she just leaves. And they really hate that. They really want to be needed to the point that it's detrimental to the woman. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be needed for affection or for attention or for love, but you want me to need you so much that you can treat me like shit and I have to stay.
You want me to be dependent on you and addicted to you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And she's not. And they
Yeah.
mad.
And in
They're
a
like,
way
how dare she show people that there's another way?
right, and in a way she's kind of like a market maker almost.
A
For lack
what?
of a better term, I said market maker, but like I don't
Oh,
know.
uh-huh.
She picks people who are like on the rise. Like if she picks
Yeah.
you, it to me that says you're about to have a great career.
Yeah.
You're about to be like A-list celebrity.
Come on,
Like
the
if you're on her radar, you're somebody.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess she's just not sleeping with anybody. She's sleeping with somebody's.
Period. And they mad they ain't somebody. Bad day. Okay, and now the MLK sculpture. What
No,
happened
you
there?
skipped the egg prices. See, that's what y'all need to stop
Because
doing.
I don't eat
Yeah, cause
eggs.
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
give
but
a
I
fuck.
do. And I was just like, "What are all the chickens held hostage? What's going on? Are we in a famine?" Like, eggs used to
Come on,
be
Shannon. This is revelation. So
I'm just saying, like, I'm concerned. I
how
went
much are they?
so they're, like, averaging anywhere like, somebody posted on Twitter, "Oh, eggs are $3.99 for a dozen," right? And they're like, "I'm
Okay.
just letting you know." And then somebody was like, "Well, I found them for $4.99, and I thought that was a good deal." When I went up to, like, my, like, local market that's, like, walking distance, and granted,
Yeah.
it's in a downtown area, so they're
I was
already
gonna say
gonna
that
upcharge.
that is like a bougie little market though.
I'm used to paying, like, $2.49 for some
At
eggs.
that market?
No, at Aldi's.
Oh,
But
okay.
I expected, okay, it's probably gonna be, like, $3.99 here. I
Yeah.
got that it was $3.99 for 6 eggs.
No, it was not.
Half a dozen,
No,
3.99, and
it
I
was
said I was
not.
confused, and I was like, I was expecting a cart, so I'm like, "What makes this different?" I'm like, "It says cage free, uh-huh, okay, I get a little upcharge." And then I'm like, "Okay, brown eggs, okay, cool, cool." And I'm like, "Cage free, so I live in the field, it's
For the
organic."
week
But I'm like, I still wasn't calculating, like, $3.99 for 6 eggs, and then I saw the other
because that's
prices.
$8 for 12.
They literally were selling a carton for, like, $7.99 or
No,
like
they were
$8,
not.
and I was like, "Does this cure cancer? Like, what super egg is this?"
But
Like,
listen, y'all need to just go vegan.
I really considered in that moment. I said, "If this is how it's gonna be, I'll just eat vegetables. Vegetables
Period.
ain't never
Period.
costing me that much."
Period.
I'm like, I get a week's supply of broccoli for like
For $3.99.
for $3.99.
What the
Like,
fuck I can do with $3.99? They are
so I
tripping.
thought it was just my expensive store, but when I went to
Yeah,
Target, I saw that, like, eggs were still, like, $4.99, and I was
that's
like,
for a dozen.
"Oh." Yeah, I'm like, "Oh, so we're in a situation. This is a
Yeah.
crisis."
I definitely picked
Gotcha.
up some eggs yesterday when I was shopping for someone that was $5.99.
I
And I was
just
like, "Are they that good?"
man, I remember at one time, Aldi's was selling eggs for, like, 60 cents a for a dozen. Like, they were probably all about to expire, like, tomorrow,
Yeah. That
but I'm
sounded
just saying
scary.
that
But
yeah,
you
I
remember
bought, like,
though.
3 of them, though.
What did you do with all the eggs?
I don't know,
You ate
but
them?
I'm still here.
I'm I'm still here.
You ain't gonna do Tisha like that. She commits to those performances. She
I'm
gives her
not mad at
all.
her. I'm not mad at her because she's still here. Okay, so eggs. Now MLK sculpture.
Yeah, that's just a mess. If you catch it from the right angle,
Uh-huh. It's supposed to
yup,
look like him.
it's supposed to look like him and Coretta embracing, but it's only their arms, you know? But so from a certain angle, it looks like they're embracing, like
Uh-huh.
arms, like
Uh-huh.
this. From
Uh-huh.
other angles, it kind of looked like a leg and a head and like some other stuff is going on.
My
And
God.
yeah, it's a lot of you gotta hit it from the right angle.
What excellent wordplay, considering that this is what it looks like. That's hilarious. I
So
used to be on Twitter. You just be knowing all the things.
yeah, and then
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy. Not him giving her cunnilingus.
it just looked wild. It looked wild.
Does
It's like
it?
because you know how you'll see like on social media they'll post those videos saying if you don't see like a lady on a horse, then you're nasty. It
Right.
was kind of like that. Like when I first saw it, I was like, "What's that supposed to be?" Because I know what I'm seeing, but I don't think that's what it's supposed to be.
Really? It really looked like his head between her legs.
Let me see. Let me see. Okay,
Yeah, now I want to look too.
all right. MLK poster. I mean, not
Is it a
poster.
poster?
It's a sculpture, man. Oh,
Sculpture.
and I feel
Oh,
yeah,
oh my God.
Oh, you saw it?
Wow.
You got to catch it from the right angle, it seems. But
Wow.
what's the Twitter angle? That was the embrace. They
Even
call it.
without the,
Not to.
that's wild.
Is this the one that we saw? I feel like they're trying to like clean up the photos now that they're showing of it.
No, it definitely looked like,
It looked like something going on. Like they're a little bit more involved.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that looked like a thigh.
crazy.
That looked like a goddamn thigh. Ain't gonna lie.
It
Yeah.
does. It looks
Oh,
like
here it
he up
is.
in that thing.
Let me see if they'll let me see the full photo of it.
Wow. What were they thinking? This a big
Right.
ass statue
And I
too.
feel bad because it's a black artist. I immediately had to check. I'm like,
Oh,
were they black? And then
damn.
the concept is very interesting. It's like I'm just gonna show this embrace, We already know what he
Whoa.
looks like. We already know what she looks like. Like show them in a different light, a different position, should we
Oh, that's
say.
her arm under his,
Yeah, the fact that you
and
gotta
it's
put that
his
much
over
thinking
top.
into this, like
Yeah, it
you
definitely
see
looks
that?
like
That's what
legs
it
and
is.
a,
You see it?
yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
That is great.
Yeah.
Surely somebody saw this big ass.
And then it kind of looked like a phallus from the other side, it just.
Oh, that is a concept.
I think they wanted to
That
show all the dynamics of their relationship. A full
Rena.
representation of all of the ways in which they
Rena.
could embrace.
Hell no, nigga. That's crazy. That's crazy as fuck. Wow, I had no idea. See, this what happens when you just be it to yourself. Well, that is a mess. You had some great messes today.
Yes, yes, yes.
That was wild.
I mean, none of them belong to me personally, but
Good, except
like
for maybe being thick almost. But
yeah,
other
that.
than that, yeah, that's my mess too. Actually, kind of
Oh, you
not.
sick?
Not that I am, but that I got sick like the second week back from Georgia. I think y'all knew
Georgia.
that I got Georgia. Y'all
Yeah,
know
of
that I
course
got
you.
stuck in Georgia for 15 days,
Was
right?
Southwest.
Right. So that's no work for all 15 days. Then I come back, I work for a week. And then I get sick. So that's another week off of work. Now, the mess is that I would like to revert back to my old, not that I would like to, but it's difficult not to revert back to my mindset about lack or my mindset about poverty or my mindset about money and just let anxiety rule me from here until the end of time because of these few setbacks. So I've had to like rely on a lot of the tools that I've been implementing over these years to try to just kind of relax and still let myself have rest when I need rest and still let myself have, time and just not saying like, I'm going to beat you up to myself. Like you finna work for 7 days a week and I don't give a fuck. Like, no, girl, it's gonna be what it is. Hopefully Southwest pays back, all those things that came from my hotel and all that kind of stuff. And we hope and we pray for that. But even if not, it's like it's what's gonna happen is gonna happen. I'm gonna work like I've been working. I'm gonna still rest. I'm gonna still work. But it's definitely been a mess of like just having to sit with myself and say, okay, I know. Like being gentle and saying, I get it. This is stressful. That is a lot of time to not have worked to still have bills that have to be paid. This is
Yeah,
the highest level of rent that I've paid on my own ever.
but you made it.
But I made it. I'm here. So having those things in my head and my mind, and then also saying like, okay, I get that. I understand that. You know what I'm saying? Just being gentle with myself and saying like, I understand why you want to go and feel anxiety about this, but you're okay. Your rent got paid. Your rent's going to be paid. Your insurance is going to be paid. Your car note's going to be paid. All these things will be paid. It's going to be fine. And so that's where we are. That is my mess. Just having to utilize the tools that I put in place to like be good.
That is a mess.
It is
That
a
is a mess.
mess, child. That's crazy. I'm like, ooh, baby, what the fuck? But yeah, that's my mess.
I mean, I'm just glad you were able to, record from your home
Yeah,
today.
yeah,
Like, I mean, you pulled that off, but yeah, like
yeah. Yeah, it's okay though. And I think I'm so grateful. I'll be honest, like I recognize that sometimes when I'm having moments that feel so huge, I come back to a lot of the things that we say. I just feel like these are like mantras and these are like things and like affirmations that we do here that allow me to like go through life with grace and ease and just like, okay, girl, yes, I feel it, but it's gonna be all right. Life gonna be what it is. You're gonna figure it out. It may be a little tough, maybe a little lean right here, maybe like a little no out to eat type shit. Stay your ass
mhm.
at home or whatever it is, but you're going to be okay. And I think these things are definitely showing up in my life. Like, so it's been good. It's been good.
Well, if you good, I'm good.
Yeah, I will be good.
Yeah, I think you are good.
I am good. You're right. I'm
There you
good.
go. There you
I'm
go.
good. All right. So that was the mess segment, y'all. Like I said earlier, you're joining us for episode 81, Let Freedom Ring. Now, Rena, why did we choose this topic?
In light of like MLK's birthday, which is
Yeah,
today,
today.
um, you know, freedom is something that he actively pursued.
Uh-huh.
Why did you do that? Why was that laugh?
It just sounded funny how you said it. I'm listening though.
I mean, he's made several quotes, which I'm going to read to you because,
Oh,
as some
yes.
background, freedom is never given voluntarily by the oppressor.
Mm-hmm.
It must be demanded by the oppressed,
Mm-hmm.
and like
Mm-hmm.
quotes like that. Like, another one, I have the audacity to believe that peoples everywhere can have 3 meals a day for their bodies, education and culture for their minds, and dignity, equality, and freedom for their spirits.
Mm-hmm.
And quotes like that on this day, and with me having to go to work tomorrow, potentially with or without the COVID,
Mm.
it just kind of brings to light, like, what is freedom for me in
Yeah.
this day and age? We kind of had an idea of what it was or what we were aiming for back in the day. It was
Right.
more, I felt like streamlined and ironed out. You could
Yeah.
see the bars, you could see the captivity. But
Right.
just in me, talking to my coworker who is actually not of color
Mm.
and just kind of, we just had this moment where we just had this shared sentiment that we want to be free.
Mm.
And I'm looking
Mm-hmm.
at her, I'm like, "You're already free." But anyway, but we wanna be free,
Right.
and we just wanna know, what we want.
Mhm.
And then, she was like, "You know what? Maybe freedom is an illusion," you know?
Mm.
And that just kinda took me for a
Fuck
loop because I'm like, this is something
fucked
that
your
I feel
ass
like
up.
Yeah, I've been striving for, fighting for, my forefathers have been fighting for, striving for, like,
Mhm.
and it just made me think, what is it? Is it
Yeah.
is it an illusion? So that's what brought me to this topic. What
Okay.
made you agree to it?
Well, I did know that Martin Luther King's birthday was coming up as well. And in light of that, I wanted to take a look at it because freedom has been so hard fought for,
Yeah,
right? There's been so many of our ancestors, so many people in the past, and so many people still now that are fighting for freedoms. Um, and I think it would be interesting to take a look at what that really means, or if we actually have freedom. And if we do, what do we do with it? Or if we don't, how do we handle it? So
I
I
love
thought that
this.
was a really interesting, like, you know what I'm saying? I felt like, yeah, let's dive in and see. You know, I'm a conspiracy theorist. I don't know if y'all know on the podcast, but I believe a lot of shit. I believe everything. You can tell me some crazy shit right now. And I'm like, I believe you. I mean, I don't believe it enough to change how
Yeah,
I'm living my life. You know, let's be real, let's be clear. I'm not it's
don't
not that
sound
I
like cap.
believe.
Yeah,
It's
that's this.
I was it's not
Yeah,
that
what
I
you just said was
believe.
cap.
I get okay, it's not that I believe. Let me
You
just
don't
clarify.
believe.
It's that I will give credence to. It's
You
not it's
entertain.
that I don't disbelieve. That's
Okay.
what it is. It's not that I believe, it's just that I don't disbelieve. You can
Okay.
tell me the earth is flat and I'd be like, bet. Like I don't know what that's supposed to do with what I'm supposed to do with that. I've never been to the edge of the earth, so I can't tell you if that's true or not. I don't because of everything else that I know science wise, it feels like this, but I also have never been entirely around the globe to see for myself. I don't know. I can't
Yeah.
disprove that. I don't disbelieve. I don't
Yeah.
necessarily believe. So I don't know if that makes
You
sense.
really haven't had the opportunity to fall off the side of the
Uh,
earth yet.
Right.
So,
Because, I don't think
but
we
you're not
can.
saying it could be
But
possible. You just haven't been able to reach the edges of
I
the
haven't had
earth
the
to
conclusion for
take
myself.
that leap for yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's mostly like that. You're right. I don't believe everything, but I don't disbelieve a lot of shit
Okay,
either.
that makes sense. That makes sense
Yeah.
right there. Like you could be open to it with the right amount of,
Proof.
proof
Yeah.
and purpose in your life,
Right.
you
Right.
know?
Like, does it affect me? Do I need to do something different? No. Bet. Who
Okay.
cares if the earth is round or not? Anyway, so that's why we're doing this topic. I'm really excited to dive in because this is an interesting one.
Okay.
But let the people know what the agenda is for the episode.
Well, the agenda, as always, for the past 4 seasons has been to dick it down. And that dick stands for not the embrace between MLK and Karada
I'm
but
fucking weak.
it stands for define, impact, and cope.
Uh-huh.
So this episode, we define one of MLK's greatest pursuits, freedom, and
Mhm.
then possibly illusion, because why not?
Mm.
Um, and, like, where do you start with this type of topic? You got to kind of
Where
just
do you?
break it down and define all the
Mhm.
pieces so you can get moving.
Yeah.
Then we discuss the impact and why we're talking about this, why it's even important. And lastly, we discuss how we cope with all of this. One thing to note, we make each section clearly known so that you can follow along with us, and have this conversation with others, with yourself, with us. Just feel free to pause wherever you see fit to give you time to write and process in your own way. Just do your own thing. Oh, and if
Yeah.
you vibe, we tried.
We tried it and be a gang gang.
I have
Um,
no idea. I don't know about. She been in LA. I don't know what that was.
I literally just made that up. I hope that wasn't anything.
Well, you better not call nobody. A spirit, a gang. I don't care what it is. I don't know what that is.
Okay, I didn't call nobody. If I did, I ain't mean to go back to where you from. Anyway, we are now to the definition portion of the podcast. So, according to our girl Google, freedom is the power or right to act, speak, or think as one wants without hindrance or restraint. And
Very succinct.
it is the the idea that there is no hindrance or restraint is where I will be focusing a lot of my attention today. I
Okay.
didn't I didn't define illusion using Google, which let me just do it right now. Since that's
Okay.
my thing, I didn't realize we were defining that.
I'm sorry, my
But
bad. I don't
no,
think I
no, you're
defined it
okay.
either. I said
No, no, you
maybe,
said possibly, but I
possibly.
kind of want to. Okay, illusion is a thing that is or is likely to be wrongly perceived or interpreted by the senses. So our
I,
senses have falsely given us this idea that we have power to act, speak, or think as we want. Is an
I
illusion in that. Are we being is our brains tricking us into thinking we have freedom? And so yeah, that's the definition of both of those words.
I'm
You have
glad you
things to
defined that.
say.
Yeah, because I'm kinda like, "Oh, that may be it may be true." It
Mhm.
sounded like
Sound a little illusiony.
an illusion.
Illusion. Okay, what was your definition?
So for me, I said, freedom is being able to explore and enjoy what life has to offer and being able to utilize the full extent of my time.
Ooh,
So in a way, yeah, the power and the right to act, speak, or think without hindrance and restraint. And I guess the
okay,
hindrance or restraint to my time. Um,
okay.
and then an illusion, I said, is something that is out of reach and or not plausible. So,
Wait, an illusion is something out of reach or not plausible. Okay, okay. I can see
so
that.
that's kind of in alignment with what Google said a little bit, kind of sort of
Okay.
like okay. So yeah, that's what I could come up with.
Okay, bet. I ain't mad at it.
Okay.
Okay. So is that it? Is that it for your
I think
definition?
we're free to move on. Yes.
Okay, let's move on. We are now, folks, to the impact section,
All
which I
right.
think is going to be so fun.
Oh gosh.
I don't know that there can ever truly be freedom. Why, Jessica?
Yeah. Why, Jessica?
Because when I think of freedom, it lives without consequences. And that's not really realistic for this world. When I think of being truly free, there are no consequences for the actions, for the words. There's no consequences when I think of what freedom would really look like. Like, let's say I do have the freedom to jump from the tallest mountain, but I'll likely die, which is a severe enough consequence that I restrict myself from even allowing that to be a real thought, right? I use such a dramatic concept, but I think that goes for a lot of little things in life. The idea that the consequence is too great to allow the thought to flourish and come to life. So I do think we have freedom of thought, if you can break away from being inundated with like groupthink concepts. But I think that's about as free as it really gets. Like I can think about anything. Am I free to act upon those things? Yes, in quotes, but not really, because there's restraint and there's consequence and there's the opposite and equal reaction to a lot of shit. So it's like I don't have the freedom to live forever.
Mm.
I'm going to die. I didn't have the freedom to not be born. I was born. Like, I don't know. This is where my mind went with it. I'm like, is there even such a thing?
That makes me think about free will.
Okay. And you think we have that?
I don't know. I mean, I think, like you said, we do,
We do.
but
And we don't.
there are consequences. So, and then freedom, according to the Google's definition, is to be able to act, think, do pretty much as you please
Without
without
hindrance.
hindrance or restraint.
Exactly. Those are the
But
two
is
things.
there
That's
really?
exactly.
I mean,
Go ahead.
you can do whatever you want.
But
Doesn't
there's
mean there isn't a consequence. So we're saying a consequence is a consequence isn't necessarily a restraint.
it is.
How? If you don't care about the consequence?
But you do care.
What if you don't?
Okay. Um, if you don't care about the consequence, are you truly free?
But then that makes it seem
Kinda.
like being a sociopath is to
The way to
be
freedom?
free. Oh, I don't like where this is going. Just oh, um,
Oh man, what are we saying here? But I mean, right? Isn't that what we're saying? Not to be a sociopath, but like honestly, if you really don't care about the consequence of anything, whether that because a lot of the things that we have here that we consider freedoms, right? When they say that the US is free country, it's because women can dress how they want for the most part without any, deadly harm coming to them. I said for the most part because I know that that's not always, but there's not any laws in place governing how we dress. So that's a freedom that we have. We can go out mostly however we want. We can't have the nipple showing, but other than that, we can go out very little clothes, very whatever. So they feel like that's a freedom. Um, but if we just didn't care at all and we just went how we wanted to, we just did what we want without the fear of the consequence, that would be the true freedom.
Yeah.
That would be
Now, that would be then that kinda goes yeah,
to your impact.
to, like, what I was saying,
Okay.
then, is freedom, not an illusion, it's accessible and a choice.
Say that one more time for me.
Like, is freedom not necessarily, an illusion, it's there, it is accessible,
Uh-huh.
but it's simply, a choice. And I know that sounds like what's his face said,
Oh,
um, Kanye, but
oh
he said it
God,
in another type of way,
he did. Um,
and that is not the way in which I'm saying it, but, that really is my question because, when I in my impact, I was all about my feelings,
yeah.
I
Like what?
often feel like I am not free. I feel like I'm enslaved not only to just a job, but to other people and even
Ooh,
maintaining myself and maintaining
yeah,
things, like a slave to my own body.
yeah.
So, with your example of jumping off, the edge of the earth or
Mhm.
whatever you said, something about jumping off of something, plummeting to
uh,
your death. Like I can do that, but there's a consequence because I'm in my body. And
right,
that'll be the last thing I ever do
right,
if I were to do. Well, maybe not.
right.
I may just break every bone in my body and somehow still live, which
Yikes, that
brings up
sounds
a whole
horrible.
other consequence. But I am free to
To do
do
that,
that.
right?
We're free to do anything,
We are.
but, say if you wanted to go to Paris, you could go
Yeah,
to Paris, but you live in Kentucky.
right,
You can go to Paris, you just have to figure out a way to get to Paris. Like,
right,
how are you gonna get there? Do you how much money would you need? There's,
right,
certain things you need somebody to fly you there, or you need
right,
to find somebody to teach you how to fly. Then you
right.
need to get a plane. Like, even if you
Mhm.
rob people and held
Right,
them up at gunpoint and, you would still need people to kinda help you
right.
do this. So, it's like, hmm, are people the
Hmm.
hindrance?
Are people the hindrance? I think
No.
we're our own. Okay, wait. Go into your impact because I feel like. Well, I don't know. I
Well, okay,
feel
okay.
like. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, overall, like I said, my impact is all about my feelings, how I feel
Okay.
about freedom, and like I said,
Okay.
not feeling free. And I feel like I'm waiting for this moment, this permission to be free, and often that leaves me feeling kind of stuck. So then to tie in what you're talking about with freedom, and the question of if it's an illusion, now I'm like, it doesn't seem like it's an illusion based off
Mhm.
of if consequences are the only hindrance and the only form of restraint and you don't care
Mhm.
about that, you remove that, then you have freedom.
Right.
You just can't care about any of that. So then that leads me to think, well, then is freedom a matter of choice, or is it a matter of your perception of what freedom is?
Absolutely. Because people in the United States feel like they're very free, but let you not pay your taxes. You're going to jail.
No, yeah, you have
Let
to.
you speed. You're getting a ticket. Let you sit in a house that's not yours. That's a squatter, and now you're, against it's against law. You're going to jail. Um, there's so many things that we feel like you can't even fish without a license. You can't fish without a license. You can't drive without a license. You can't sell houses without a license. You can't do a lot of shit without all of these constrictions in place. So, is it free? Yes. You have a question.
And I get that there are consequences if you did those things without those things, but
Yeah,
technically
you
you
could do
can
it.
do those things.
That's
So
very
that's what I'm
true.
like, is it a perception then? Are we perceiving too much of the consequences and that stops us from doing things? And
Of
it makes us
course.
feel like we're not free.
Of
And
course.
we
Of
choose not
course.
to exercise our freedom.
Because then we would lose freedom, right?
Would
If
we?
I exercise my freedom to go 100 miles an hour in this fucking residential ass street and I get caught by the cops, you're going to jail now. Like, you're going to jail. You know what I'm saying? And that's a loss of freedom. That's definitely a loss of freedom. So I think consequences have become such that it does hinder freedom, even if you have because you're right. We can do whatever we want to. We literally can. I could literally go to the tallest building right now and just jump. I could. Yes, absolutely. The thought of not dying and having all my bones crushed to soup sounds awful.
Okay, so then
So, am I truly free? You're right. It's not. It's in the mind.
that's what I was gonna say.
The
Like, so
freedom
is
is
freedom just in your body, like, or is freedom like a state of mind?
freedom is a state of mind.
Because, like, yeah, you do 120 miles in a residential neighborhood, you're going to jail,
Yes.
right? But if you're
Yes.
like, well, I did what I wanted to do, and I don't really care about this consequence,
Then you're still free.
you're still free.
Even if your ass in jail with 3 hots and a cop. Um, cause who yeah. Yeah. Okay. Did you say all your feelings?
Yeah, that's it. Like,
I
I
just
mainly wanted to go to the coat because I'm really trying to figure out, like, how do I deal with this? Like, if freedom is not an illusion, so it's not like a lie, it's not something that you can't get, and we technically are already free,
Right.
and it's a choice that you have to activate, or a perception or a way of seeing things. It's like, so are we just so like who is like let's go back to that quote with from Martin Luther King, right?
Okay. Uh-huh.
Freedom is never given voluntarily by the oppressor, it must be demanded by the oppressed, right?
Mhm.
So if I see myself as oppressed, right?
Right.
Because I don't have this freedom,
Right.
and who is the oppressor? Like I know, like just
You.
like from a damn,
Right? Because the only thing that
yes,
we literally
actually.
just said is that the freedom is in our mind. It's a really a giving up of saying I don't care about the consequence. I'm going to do this regardless. And hopefully this conversation is to people who have some sort of moral compass and this is about the
Yeah,
freedom of
yeah,
like, your
dreams.
career or your faith or your health or whatever and you're recognizing cuz yeah, I think the cope is kind of where we are now, right?
Yeah,
Um for me, it's like exploring the prison of my mind. This is literally what I said. Exploring the prison of my mind keeps me more captive. Exploring how the prison of my mind keeps me more captive than any law ever could, whether that's the law of gravity or the law of the lands. I cope by exploring ways to break out of the prison that keeps me bound. Because when my mind is free, there is no cage that can hold me. And I literally am free. And I feel like that is a place that I'm in right now. Sometimes I can't see where to go. I feel bound by what I'm doing right now. I feel bound by what I know. I feel bound by the limit of knowledge that I have. I feel bound by the limit of actions that I think is plausible for me, my body, my race, my ethnicity, my gender, all of these things I've been inundated with thoughts of you can't do this because of that, and therefore there I've created a prison for myself, and really going in there and seeing why do I feel like I can't do this thing, and breaking out of that is how we explore true freedom, I feel like.
I think you're right. Like it's so easy for us to say, "Oh, we're held captive, we're not free," but we
Yeah,
really are, and
yeah,
it's all about freeing yourself and taking that step and not worrying about the consequences,
yeah,
and you believing that you're free, like,
yeah,
and probably believing that you're something beyond your body.
yes, oh my god. That's tough though.
That is hard. So we
That's
are
tough.
our own oppressor.
Absolutely.
That is that does that I'm mad at me.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's frustrating when you really break it down. We are the only ones that are holding ourselves to these limits, to these limits. Like, I think about what it means to be human frequently. I think
Okay.
about everything that had to happen and transpire for us to be here, and it's illogical. Where did we come from?
Sky
Where?
Daddy.
Where Sky Daddy, right? Did he give us other powers that we've limited ourselves on? Can we fly? Can we read minds? All the things that we think of as like superhuman and super, like these are like superpowers and things like that. Is that something that we should just have? Have we have we bound ourselves to this idea of what is human, of what is possible, what is plausible, to think of yourself in such a small way, you will never be able to get bigger than that.
That is
You will
true.
never be able to grow to your full potential if you don't even know that that's your outline. Shit's wild.
It is wild. So then, what are we waiting for?
Oh,
Like, and that was my cope because I don't know how to cope with this because I kind of
yeah,
figured it would go this way that like, oh, it's not an
yeah,
illusion.
yeah.
It's more of how you see it. It's like, are you willing to step up and see that you're already free?
Ooh,
Because I have a tendency to want to wait for permission. I'm like waiting for
yeah,
somebody to tell me when to go. Tell me
yeah.
when to go.
Jump in, jump out. Let me introduce myself. Uh-huh.
Um, but it seems like I just have to make the choice or the
Yeah,
decision,
yeah,
which is my word for the year. And like, I don't have to work. And that's what my coworker said. Like, she was really like spent some real shit. She's like, we don't have to work, but we do. And I'm like, give me more than that.
yeah, yeah. She's
So
right though. We could just say fuck it.
I think we
And
don't know how to do freedom.
yeah.
I think it's something that none of us have seen before.
I mean, we see it, but it doesn't always look pretty.
Where do
It
we
doesn't
see it?
always people that sometimes those people that are on the streets, that is a freedom that you cannot imagine. Not to say that that's not a hard life or that some of them are not choosing that, but there are a lot of people that are choosing homelessness versus
That's
being
true.
in this whole race of thing that's like, or somebody's living in the woods or somebody's living on a piece of land and just you haven't heard from them. They go and pick berries and they do hard shit and they're free to live and roam and go as they please. It's been shown to us that this is a tragic life. We treat those people as less than. We treat these people like filth and garbage, and nobody wants to be treated that
That's
way.
true.
So, we've been inundated again with a reason to not be free because why would I be free like that? Why would I be free like that
How could that
without
be
realizing
freedom?
how could that be freedom? When it literally could be. I'm not in the rat race with y'all. I don't have to get up and go. I do what I want. I eat what I want, you know what I'm saying, type shit. So, well, they don't be eating what they want. They be looking hungry as fuck. Um,
Not always. Those are
that's
just the
true.
ones that we see and maybe they're not free, but the ones who are in the woods who are sustaining themselves,
Yeah,
we don't know what they look like because they don't allow us access to them.
agreed.
So
Yes.
so freedom essentially does not imply that there's a lack of risk or consequences,
Mm. It's
okay?
just it, is it
And
a consequence if you don't care?
I mean,
Because it will still be there.
it's still
See,
a
that's the problem.
consequence. And
If I be like, if you do this, the consequence is $400. You're like,
I think
okay, I have $400. I don't
maybe you can
care.
still care, but you not to the point where you wouldn't do it. Like, you're like, "I'll just deal
Okay.
with the consequences." Because that leads
Okay.
me to my next kind of epiphany in this discussion, that
Mhm.
freedom does not mean that there's gonna be a lack of maintenance. Like, I think for
Ooh,
me, I feel like freedom I attach freedom to this idea of I don't have to do anything.
literally nothing.
And freedom is literally you choosing to do what you want to do, you choosing to do that thing that for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'd be like, I just wanna be free, free, like, I don't wanna have to, like a lot of my fear, because that's when I
Mhm.
really start thinking about freedom, is I think about, like, getting older and kind of being in this body as it declines.
Ooh,
and wanting to be
jeez.
free of that experience or wanting to guarantee that that experience will be smooth.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I feel very trapped because I'm like, I feel like I'm on the Titanic and it's my
Oh,
body.
and it's going down.
And it's like, I mean, not right away, but I don't know. It could at any moment,
Yeah, yeah,
And, and then I think of all the maintenance you have to do to maintain your body,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
on like the superficial stuff is really like maintaining your hair and like,
yeah.
doing the skincare routine, putting on lotion and washing your body. But
Right.
then to take that step further to talk about what you were talking about, I don't know if you were talking about this before we were recording, but just like, having that routine and like just, eating better,
Mhm.
exercising more, and making sure you're hitting these marks. And
Right.
sometimes I know I don't see maintaining myself in that manner
Mhm.
as a way to freedom,
Right. But it
but
but it is.
it is.
Yeah.
So I'm realizing in this cope what freedom is and is not. So freedom is within myself.
Mm, mhm.
It's a choice.
Yeah,
It's choosing to see it and to acknowledge it that it's within my power.
yeah.
And then my nose is starting to run.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. And you had the freedom to grab tissue.
That is a
No,
freedom.
but
I feel like we focus
no,
so much on the freedoms we don't have. Maybe freedom isn't just one thing. Like,
right.
ah,
I mean,
like
I think freedom is going to look I think it
different
it
for
starts
everybody.
with it's gonna look different for everybody. What
Yeah,
is the freedom? I don't want the freedom to live on the street in the manner that they are living. That does not
yeah,
sound
that's not free to
free to
me.
me. That
That's
sounds like another prison and another hell that I don't wanna be in.
right.
But freedom to go live in the woods and, like, actually, like, grow things and have water catchment system and, like, really just eat right off the land, that sounds amazing to me. That sounds like heaven. Um,
So when
so
will you be free to
figure
pursue that?
I'm free to pursue it now. It's just it's prioritizing. It's recognizing what
Free to pursue it now. Ooh,
I
okay.
am. I am free to pursue that now. I could literally pack all this shit up, give it all away, take not one thing with me except for the clothes on my back. Some clothes that I feel like would last for years. Go to the woods and live in my bra and underwear and only put those clothes on when I need to go to the city for whatever. Go find somewhere with a creek. Plant I have seeds right now that I got from somewhere else that I think are non-GMO. Plant them bitches, let them grow, I could do that right now. That would be a freedom that I could pursue. It's really just kind of, I think that the main thing is really getting your priorities in order. There's so many things in this life that I want to pursue. There's so many things that you know, and that's when it comes down to what does it's just really prioritizing, like I said, sorry, what freedom looks like for you. And recognizing that achieving that freedom is saying that regardless of the consequence, regardless of the restraint, regardless of the hindrance, I am going to get there. I'm going to achieve this. That is what true freedom is, I feel like, for me.
Hmm.
What's happening over there? You're having so many thoughts are passing through your head, and I'm just watching you. She said, hmm,
Because I'm thinking of like, it just seems like freedom is something that you would have to actively pursue.
yeah,
It's like to have a goal is to kind of be free. Like, 'cause I'm just thinking about the people who are like, I don't want to, be perceived and I don't want to aspire and I don't want to
yep,
do anything big. I just, want to chill.
yeah,
I mean, I guess that is a goal.
yeah. To
It's a
just chill?
goal. Yeah, it could be a goal. You're like,
Absolutely.
what? My goal is to not work. My goal is to like, be able to spend all day with my friends and my family,
That'd be
because
dope.
people I was gonna say cat, but I was like, let me modify that because people always make it seem like people who, don't wanna slave away all day, every day are just like evil cat ladies.
That's true.
And it's like some people just want all their time. I want
Yes.
my time,
The fullness of my time. Yeah,
fullness, the full extent.
the full extent. Yeah, I mean, so how are you coping? I don't know that you really fully said.
I think because I didn't say because I didn't know what to say.
Yeah,
Because I had to figure out what is the impact and what is freedom? What is that to
yeah,
me?
mhm,
So based on this, I feel like the way I'm gonna cope is by acknowledging that it's within me, that that permission that I'm seeking literally comes from me. And, I think before we started recording, I said I have like this all or nothing
yeah,
perspective,
mhm,
but I need to focus on it being more of a all or something
yeah,
perspective. And I think
yeah,
that's the approach I need to take towards freedom because freedom is something I want, right? And freedom
yeah,
is something that I have to acknowledge for myself and give to myself
mhm,
and maintain for myself. And so I think I need to do something, not just wait for this miraculous day where somebody shows up and says, "You're free," and
here's your freedom,
I'm gonna open up the cage. It's
right,
like there's no key, there's no lock. Like I've
yeah,
encaged and enclosed to myself
yep,
into my own rigid beliefs and ideas. So,
ooh, Jesus,
um,
mm,
how I cope is by cracking that door open a little bit. I'm not gonna say I'm
yeah,
gonna bust it wide open because, like, that's extreme. But
yeah,
we gotta go with who I am. So crack it a bit.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
maybe first just kind of like hit the lock, just be like, huh. Maybe
Look
without even
at
opening the door, just slide it back and be like, oh, it's really not locked.
there.
Oh, okay,
Oh, look at there.
right, and then
Yes,
lock it back,
yes.
and then and then be like, because part of it too is we enclose ourselves because we're afraid to be free because we're afraid to be out there in the elements and we're
Yeah.
afraid that other people are gonna be free and then take freedoms with us. So
Mm,
like, I think that's part of my issue too. I'm like, well, if I'm out here like free,
right.
and vulnerable and all of that,
Yeah.
then I'm gonna encounter people.
Yes.
And sometimes that's very frightening to me.
If they free too.
They free too. I'm like, ain't nobody got no leash on these people.
I'm
They just walking
like,
around. Who owns you?
who owns these people? You just walking around free and what shit?
And they're
That's
like,
funny.
and now just like you.
Annie, right. Free out here. I mean, I think that's a beautiful start though. I think
Yeah, I'm
that's
gonna just
realistic and I think that's
unlock
very
it.
healthy. She said, I'm gonna unlock it first and see.
Yeah, and I'm
Oh
gonna step
shit. I
out,
can't
crack it open, kind of
yeah.
peek out, be like, "Who all
Oh
here?"
shit. Right.
You
Who all out
know.
there? Who all free over here? That's
So
funny.
I mean, essentially, it sounds like I've been giving up a lot of my freedom. So
Mhm.
like, and then I've been mad about it, make it seem like
Mhm.
somebody took it from me, and it's not necessarily that somebody like took it from me. It's like, well, hey, if you're willing to sit here in this cage and we can use
Why
you,
not?
then
Yeah.
why
I
not? Like
s- I
you walked
saw
in here.
this right. I saw this thing with fleas
Oh,
and it really kind of I was like, "Oh shit." Um they were jumping they were in this glass. They were jumping so high. They were like jumping out of the glass, jumping out of the glass. And then the person doing the experiment came and put a lid on the glass. So they were still jumping to the lid. Then I don't know how long the passage of time of these things, but then they came and took the lid off, and they only ever jumped as high as the lid. They only ever jumped as high as the lid. They only ever jumped as high as
oh,
they
that's
never jumped out, and it was open and free to do that. And it fucked with me because I think about these people that are making 6 and 7 figures in tech, and it just was like what they thought, what they knew. They could just go and do it. They went and got a degree, or they went and got a certificate, or their parents showed them the way, or this was the thing. Like, oh, that's just everybody in my family makes 6, 7 figures. That's just what I'm expected to do. This is the path. This is what I know I can do. And that's not necessarily the case in my family or anything that I saw immediately. And so I'm like, am I only just jumping to the lid? Am I only jumping to the lid because I don't think I can go further? That really fucks with me. And I was like, shit, how do I break my own mind? How do I break my own fear? How do I break my own cage, my own prison so that I can escape from this place? I don't want to jump that high anymore. I want to jump higher. I want to see what's out there. I want to explore differently than I have ever explored. But yeah, that was a real interesting, like little,
that
thing that I
is
saw.
fascinating.
Yeah.
And I definitely resonate with that. I feel like, you know, I am jumping to the lid. And I'm
Yep.
like, "Yep, I know I could touch it," and then there's a comfort in knowing that you could touch that lid. And if
Yeah.
somebody were to unscrew that lid and they're like, "You can go everywhere," this is what I feel like. I feel like
Yeah.
maybe the lid has been unscrewed or removed, and I'm jumping to where the lid was, and I'm, like, trying
Yeah.
to touch it to get that satisfaction, and I'm not.
Yeah. Yes, because oh my god, it's not satisfying anymore.
No.
Rena, you really touched on some shit right there. Wow.
It's like, I need to do more than this, and then I get sad when I go up there and I'm not, like, hitting
Touching it. Oh
touching
my
that ceiling, but I don't know what's gonna happen if I jump beyond that
god.
limit.
Exactly.
I'm like,
Exactly.
"What if I
It's so
fall the fuck
scary
to the like,
to
out?"
my
Like, what
death
if yeah, but then it doesn't matter because what's the
because you
point of
did.
being down here if you're not free?
That's true.
What's the
Oh,
point of being in this
golly.
body if you're not gonna exercise your freedom or your free will?
Yeah,
Like, I
because
mean,
we
I get
got
it.
it.
People have all these rules and there's consequences or whatever,
Yeah.
and you would
Yeah.
just hope that you're mentally well enough that you're not trying to just do murder,
Right.
you know? But I mean, technically, yeah, that's part of why I'm afraid to let myself out of my cage because there's people out here who are free to do murder.
That's true.
Like,
That's true.
and like honestly, all these rules and consequences has not stopped people from murdering.
And that's the thing though. Like I feel like more people are good than not.
I I
And
I
though it will be people that do murder regardless because people be still trapped. They be trapped in other shit and are free to be murderers just because they are. There's still consequences and they still do it. So I don't think without them there gonna be any more murderers. You know? I mean maybe. Who knows? But I feel you though. It's frightening.
it is. Yeah. I think that's really what it is. That's why I've enclosed myself. But now that I'm acknowledging that it is myself who's doing it,
Right.
it's out of fear,
Mhm.
and I think a lot of things that, you know, what was great about MLK is that he showed that you could be peaceful and also not have fear, like, or you could be afraid, but still do
Still
what you feel
pursue
like.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you wanna be free, and in
Yeah.
that way, that's a successful way of showing I don't care about the consequences.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what it looks like, I know we're talking about murderers and everything, but there's another position, you
Mhm.
know, that we could show what it looks like to seek freedom and not care about the consequences and how some of
Yeah.
those laws and those consequences are unjust and maybe
Yeah.
it's something we should, strive to push beyond. So, hey, when I'm looking at it that way, yeah. So if you're
Yeah.
not gonna be free, what's the point?
What's the point?
And
That's
you
really
have to
good.
do it. You have to do it. Like, yeah, they can put all these laws in place, but that doesn't mean you have to care.
Right.
Like some of these laws are good, but you get to decide. You get to decide which law you feel like is just.
Mm.
Not all of our laws are just. There's
That's
laws
very
in
true.
Oregon right now that bans Black people from living in certain areas. I'm sure there's ordinances and all over
Yeah.
that ban us from just living, just
Yeah.
breathing, just
Yeah.
being. Like, it's a law.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a hindrance, it's a
Yeah.
restraint. Is it just?
No, it's not.
Is that a good reason for you not to do what you feel like you wanna do and be
Right.
free?
Right.
So,
Mm.
okay. Damn, so it all
Mm.
came down to me. I was really hoping I could blame somebody else.
That's
Uh,
hilarious.
yeah, I really
That's
was, like,
hilarious. Are
yeah,
we to the
okay.
recap then?
Yeah, you go ahead and just sum this up
I
for
mean, I
me.
feel like you did a really great job. I think freedom comes down to you and the ability to break free of your own captivity. Nobody can keep you hindered if you are not afraid of the consequence. They're inevitable, but if you recognize that and understand that, you can break free of your own limitations. I think that's
Oh,
it.
I'm my own oppressor. That's so
We are
sad to
our
me.
own oppressors. The oppressor. Mm! Do you have any shout outs this episode? This was a really
Um,
fun one.
this
Anyway, I'm
was
sorry. Go
No,
ahead.
this was a fun topic. I just
Mhm.
wanna, shout out to just everybody who's taking their free time to listen to this eventually this week,
Yeah.
and who've been rocking with us, this entire time. Shout out to MLK. Shout out to, gosh, all the freedoms we've been afforded as a
Yeah.
result of his work and the work of all the people who were riding with him and helping to remove
Yeah.
that lid so that everybody could jump out and
Yeah.
jump higher. That's the reason why we're able to jump higher because that cap was removed.
Absolutely.
Um, and yeah, I think that's the most meaningful shout out, and
Yeah.
also like shout out to the sculptor, what
Mm.
is because he definitely took some freedom and some liberty with that, and it's
Did.
definitely an interesting perspective.
Mhm.
And he had a vision, and I think he carried that out. And even though
Yeah.
people on Twitter can be mean, you did that. You completed it. You took something and
Yeah.
you exercised
Brought
your
it to
freedom to
reality.
create it and brought it to
Absolutely.
reality. You should be proud of that, no matter
Yeah.
what anyone says or how they try to play you and
Mm.
the angles they try to take pictures from. Like it's just
Yeah.
that. That's my shout out.
I love that. And I would like to shout out to those of you who are still kind of moseying into 2023. Even if you have not gotten to a place where you feel like it's off to a good start, you still have plenty of time. Take your time with yourself, ease into this thing. I think I just heard that Mercury is coming out of retrograde.
On the
So that will be
22nd.
that'll be the full start of the new year. So give yourself some grace and some ease. Allow yourself to break free of some of these thought prisons that we've put ourselves in. And yeah, that's it for my shout out. I think we are now to my favorite part, which is the meditation. If you're new here, what we do is take a couple deep breaths. We set an intention, take another couple breaths, and then I let you go about your day. So, what I want you to do is take a big deep breath for me. We'll take a second deep breath. Take one more deep breath. And now we'll set our intention. I intend to acknowledge where I have limited myself, or I feel like it's freedom holding me back, but it's truly me. I tend to acknowledge that so that I can put into place steps to breaking out of that thought process.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Um, it is my intention to take ownership of my freedom,
Mm,
acknowledge that I'm already free, and that the decision rests with me,
yeah,
and to take the steps that I can towards actualizing my freedom
I love that.
and activating it. Yes.
Yeah, activate that freedom. Okay, we're going to take our last set of breaths. Take another big deep breath with me. We'll take a second deep breath. And we'll take one more last deep breath. All right, your intentions have been set. Go out there and flourish this today. Doesn't have to be a mess.
But it's okay if it is.
It sure is, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in again. We appreciate your continued support. 2023 is looking lit, and we hope the same can be said for you and your year. Is there anything else that you want to say during this time, Rena?
Absolutely not.
Okie doke. Well, if you have a topic idea and you would like to discuss it with us, please email us at itsamesssis@gmail.com. That same address can be used for becoming a guest, just a random comment. You'd like to let us know that you think we're cool, any business opportunities, that's itsamesssis@gmail.com. If you are more social media person, we are on Instagram, and that's at It's a Messis Podcast. Facebook, same at It's a Messis Podcast. Twitter at It's a Mess. And if you'd like to see our lovely faces, we are on YouTube, and It's a Mess Sis. Just search for us and you should be able to find us. And I think that's it. If that's all, then we'll let the people go and let y'all have a great day and a happy new year. I don't know if we said that the last one, but happy new year, y'all.
I think you did,
Did we?
but
Did we? Okay. We can say it up until March, right?
yeah, pretty much. Yeah. That's when the new year begins for me.
I'm weak. Okay. Well, we're going to catch y'all on the flip side. Peace. It's a mess.
Hey, that's all I can do.
It's
I
a
can't
mess.
sing.
It's okay. He's gonna talk over my singing. Okay, it's ready now.